In July 2025, Kathryn Sullivan opened an email from her employer, a bank she had worked at for 25 years. The email said her role was no longer required. She was 63 years old. A single mother. Her son has a disability and will depend on her financially for the rest of her life. She had planned to retire in 2029. She had told the bank this. They knew. But what made this different from any other corporate layoff wasn't the timing, or the cruelty, or even the scale. It was the fact that Kathryn had spent the last few years of her career doing one specific task, writing scripts and testing responses for the bank's new AI chatbot. Teaching it how to talk to customers. Stepping in whenever it failed. Training it, day after day, to do exactly what she had done for a quarter of a century. She didn't know she was building her own replacement. The chatbot's name was Bumblebee. And when it was ready, the bank let Kathryn go. The Commonwealth Bank of Australia is not a small company. It is the largest bank in Australia by market capitalization. In the financial year ending June 2025, it posted a record profit of $10.1 billion. It employs roughly 37,000 people across the country and another 6,800 in India. Its CEO, Matt Comyn, is one of the most powerful executives in the Southern Hemisphere. The bank has been around since 1911. Over a century of operations. Generations of families have worked there. Generations of customers have trusted it with their savings, their mortgages, their retirement accounts. Kathryn Sullivan had been part of that institution since the year 2000. She started as a bank teller. Over 25 years, she became one of the people customers trusted most, the voice on the phone when something went wrong, the person who understood how the systems worked because she had lived inside them for decades. She wore the uniform with pride. She described herself as loyal, committed, and fully invested in the company's mission. In her final years at the bank, her role shifted. She was asked to help develop the bank's customer service AI, a chatbot called Bumblebee. The idea, at least on the surface, was to improve customer service. Make responses faster. Handle basic inquiries without putting people on hold. Free up human agents for more complex cases. Kathryn supported it. She believed in technology. She thought AI could make the bank better for customers and for employees. And so she did what she was asked. She wrote scripts for the chatbot. She tested its responses. She ran trial conversations and identified where the AI fell short. When customers tried the bot and it couldn't answer their questions, Kathryn was the one who stepped in to handle the conversation, and then fed what she'd learned back into the system. Every time the chatbot failed, she made it smarter. Every gap in its knowledge, she filled. Every awkward response, she rewrote. She was, in the most literal sense, teaching the machine how to do her job. She didn't know that was the plan. No one told her. No one sat her down and said, "The system you are building will eventually replace you and 44 of your colleagues." No one gave her the choice to opt out. The bank let her believe she was helping to improve a tool, not engineering her own obsolescence. In late July 2025, the Commonwealth Bank informed 45 customer service employees that their roles had been made redundant. Kathryn Sullivan was one of them. The announcement was abrupt. There was no transition period. No retraining program. No offer of a different role inside the bank. Just an email, and a process. "I was completely shell-shocked," alongside my colleague, Kathryn later said. "We just feel like we were nothing. We were a number." She tried to contact the bank for answers. She wanted to understand why. She wanted someone, anyone, in a position of authority to explain the decision to her face. She waited. 1 day. 2 days. A week. 8 full business days passed before anyone from the Commonwealth Bank responded to her questions. 8 days. A $10 billion company, with thousands of managers and HR professionals and communications teams, and no one could find the time to explain to a 25-year employee why she no longer had a job. When the answer finally came, it was corporate boilerplate. Her role was no longer required. The bank was evolving. The technology had advanced. But the technology hadn't advanced on its own. Kathryn had advanced it. She had written the words the chatbot used to talk to customers. She had tested every response. She had been the fallback every time the AI failed. Inadvertently, she said, "I was training a chatbot that took my job. I was loyal for so long, and this is the thanks I get. I gave my heart and soul to the business." The irony didn't stop there. Within weeks of the layoffs, the Commonwealth Bank's customer service started to fall apart. Call volume surged. Wait times climbed. Customers who had previously spoken to trained humans were now stuck in loops with a chatbot that didn't understand their questions. People with mortgage disputes, fraudulent charges, account lockouts, the complicated, emotional, high-stakes problems that make up the real work of customer service, were being routed to a machine that had been built to handle simple balance inquiries and password resets. Bumblebee wasn't ready. It had never been ready. The AI had been launched prematurely, before it could handle the full range of issues that a 25-year veteran like Kathryn dealt with every day. The bank had confused answering questions with serving customers. Those are not the same thing. Answering a question is a task. Serving a customer requires judgment, empathy, and experience. Bumblebee had none of those. The bank had cut the humans before the machine could actually do the job those humans had spent decades learning. And the customers noticed immediately. And here's a number that puts the entire situation in perspective. In the same period that the bank eliminated 45 customer service roles in Australia, it had created roughly 100 new positions in India, many of them near identical to the jobs that had just been cut. The bank wasn't eliminating the work. It was relocating it. And using AI as the justification. The finance sector union filed a case with the Fair Work Commission, Australia's national workplace tribunal. They argued the redundancies were improper. The bank's response was remarkable, not for what it admitted, but for how casually it admitted it. A Commonwealth Bank spokesperson said, "The bank's initial assessment that 45 roles were not required did not adequately consider all relevant business considerations, and because of this error, the roles were not redundant." Read that again. The bank fired 45 people. Then publicly stated it was an error. Not a strategic decision gone wrong. Not a regrettable but necessary step. An error. A clerical mistake. An oversight. An error that affected 45 families. An error that a company posting $10 billion in profit, with an army of executives and analysts and legal teams, somehow failed to catch before the emails went out. The bank offered the employees their jobs back. But there was a catch: the roles offered weren't always the same roles that had been eliminated. The terms were different. The security was gone. The trust was gone. Kathryn declined. "The alternative role did not provide the security of my original position," she explained. After 25 years, she walked away, carrying a redundancy package and the knowledge that she had personally trained the system that made her disposable. On October 15, 2025, the Commonwealth Bank held its annual general meeting at the Gabba Stadium in Brisbane. Shareholders were there. Executives were there. The chairman, Paul O'Malley, and CEO Matt Cummins sat at the front of the room. The bank had just posted record profits. The mood, by all accounts, was celebratory. Then Kathryn Sullivan stood up. She had traveled there specifically for this moment. Not to protest. Not to make a scene. Just to ask a question, the one question no one at the Commonwealth Bank had been willing to answer. She took the microphone. "I just wanted to know what specific measures, if any, you have in place now to safeguard current staff from having their roles displaced by AI, and also offshoring." The room went quiet. Chairman O'Malley spoke first. His response was 5 words long. "We made a mistake." He acknowledged it had been difficult for Sullivan. He said the bank hadn't adequately considered the business impact. He said this had been communicated. CEO Cummins added that the bank sometimes had to make difficult decisions that impacted employees, while sitting in front of a presentation showing a record $10.1 billion in annual profit. Neither of them answered her actual question. Neither described a single specific measure to prevent it from happening again. Neither acknowledged that the bank was, at that very moment, expanding its AI initiatives, including a brand new partnership with OpenAI to develop more automation tools. The chairman said, "We made a mistake." The CEO talked about difficult decisions. And both men moved on to the next question. Kathryn left the meeting. No one followed her. No one offered to continue the conversation privately. No executive reached out afterward to discuss her concerns. She later shared her story at an AI symposium at Australia's Parliament House, organised by the Australian Council of Trade Unions. The event was attended by union leaders, policymakers, and economists. Reserve Bank Governor Michelle Bullock spoke at the same event, warning that employers would need to invest in retraining workers affected by AI, and that some individuals are likely to need support through these disruptions. Assistant Productivity Minister Andrew Lee told the audience that the Australian ideal of the fair go meant prosperity should be shared. Technology should serve people, he said, not the other way around. Kathryn wasn't trying to stop AI. She had said, repeatedly, that she believed in it. She had spent years helping to build it. She understood its value better than most people in that room. What she wanted was something simpler. I believe there needs to be some sort of regulation to prevent replacing humans without safeguards. No one at the Commonwealth Bank disagreed with her publicly. But no one changed anything either. There is a detail in this story that doesn't get enough attention. When the bank fired Kathryn Sullivan, it knew she was 63. It knew she was a single mother. It knew her son had a disability and depended on her financially. It knew she planned to retire in 2029, just 4 years away. They fired her anyway. Kathryn had been clear about her situation. Her retirement savings weren't just for her, they were for her son's long-term care. He's going to be my responsibility until I die, she said, so my retirement money isn't just going to be for me. It's going to be to ensure I'm maintaining his lifestyle as well. The redundancy package she received was the end of a 25-year relationship with the only employer she had known for most of her adult life. And now, at 63, she would have to compete with younger applicants in a job market that was itself being transformed by the same technology that had just replaced her. And when the backlash hit, when the union filed the case, when the media picked up the story, when customers started asking questions, the bank didn't apologize for the decision. It apologized for the process. It called it an error. As if the problem was paperwork, not principle. The chatbot, Bumblebee, is still running. The bank's partnership with OpenAI is expanding. More automation is planned. More roles will be assessed. More employees will be asked to help develop systems whose ultimate purpose they may never fully understand. A poll of over 1,400 Australian workers found that 21% are concerned AI will replace them at their jobs. Another 40% said they actively dislike using AI technology in their workplace. That's more than half the workforce either afraid or hostile. And right now, somewhere in Australia, or India, or any of the dozens of countries where the Commonwealth Bank operates, there is another employee sitting at a desk, writing scripts for a chatbot, testing its responses, stepping in when the AI fails. They probably believe they're making the system better. They probably believe their job is safe. Kathryn Sullivan believed that too. If you think more people need to hear this story, share it. And subscribe, because this isn't the last time AI changes someone's life. Kathryn gave 25 years to one company. She trained the AI. She trusted the process. And the process replaced her. So here's the question, if the people who build the AI aren't safe from the AI, who is?